Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo buddhaya, namo dhammaya, namo sanghaya. So, well, good evening everyone who are my friends on the Facebook, and especially our Cambodian devotees, Cambodian well-wishers around the globe who are living in United States, France, Canada, Australia, and my well-wishers in Malaysia and Singapore. And today I'm going to share some Buddhist psychological perspectives on stress management. You know, because I have shared some ideas related to stress management in Cambodian language, and I was asked and I was requested by some devotees, it would be better if I elaborate in English, because there are many people who are suffer from stress, and especially some Cambodian kids who are in the competitive educational system in Australia and United States. So, you know, because we are in the high-tech society, in the high-tech globalization, no any further delay, I don't want to waste time to explain you what is stress, how it affects our physical and mental health from the neuropsychological science, or from the biological perspective, or in terms of chemistry. So you can Google, you can YouTube, you can understand what is stress and how it can be defined, and the impacts on our health. You can Google and you search to enlighten yourself. So let me to be straightforward. Yes, everyone around the world, every single of us have been suffered from the stress. You know, stress related homework or workplace, or sometimes it's really hard for you to manage your family life. You cannot deal with your new job or your old job, or your old boss or new boss, or some students, they cannot stand with their science teachers or maths teachers. Some, they cannot how to manage their relationships. So there are numerous, problems which have the capacity, the potential to trigger the stress within us. So stress is very, the most popular mental diseases, illnesses have been discussed by mental health professionals around the world, especially health psychologists, and they have come with enormous and plenty of strategies how to deal with stress. But today I'm taking this great opportunity to share with you from the Buddhist perspectives, from the Buddhist point of view, from the Buddhist stand, how to manage your stress or how to deal with your stress. Because I have delivered a Dhamma talk to Malaysian devotees on the topic of how to deal with stress, I think maybe last week, if I'm not wrong. So, stress must be managed, and it can be managed effectively. And there are some steps and strategies to be followed by you. First thing, you have to know, you have to admit. First thing, in managing stress from the Buddhist perspectives, self-awareness is very important. Self-awareness. It means, in the first place, you have to admit, acknowledge that you are stressful. This is a very important key point to keep in mind when you are dealing with your stress. So you have to understand, you have to aware, you have to admit, you have to acknowledge that you are getting stressed. This is the first point. We have to admit and acknowledge that we are getting stressed or we are stressful. And the second thing and second point, you have to understand, you have to admit the reason behind triggering the stress within you. You have to know the reason. What is the reason? Because it's relative. It is relatively dependent on on the circumstances where you are in. Because sometimes you are in the job, in working place. Sometimes you are in university. Sometimes you are in in the bus. So anyway, wherever you are, you have to understand the reason why you are getting stressed. And the third point is very important from the Buddhist point of view. It's very important to understand the third point. You have to the third point is very important. You have to change your perception about the stress. So change the way you perceive the stress, change the way you admit the stress, change the way you look at the stress. Simply, you have to change your perception on stress. So what we have to do is, because in Buddhism we believe everything is because of your thoughts. Everything is because of your thoughts. So the third point, according to the Buddhist perspective, you have not to believe. You have not to believe that outside situation or outside fact having influence, having impact, having effect on your stress. I think you get the point, because every single of us have been taught that stress are triggered by the outside. So we have been used and have been taught to believe that the outsiders are stressors. Stressors are not within. We have been used to think that stressors are outside. So this is, you have to eradicate this belief system. So it is very important in Buddhist, from the Buddhist point of view, when you're dealing on the stress management, you have to change your belief system on stress. Okay, can you understand? Focus on happy thought rather than concentrate on the problem too much through kumja. Okay, so this point is correct. Okay, the third point, very important. You have to change your perception. You have to change your belief system of stress. Every single of us have been taught to believe that outside situation, outside facts having impact, having influence, having effect on our stress. No, it is wrong. From a Buddhist perspective, from a Buddhist stand, from a Buddhist point of view, it is wrong. Outside situation, outside facts don't do anything. It has no any power to trigger the stress within you. That is the belief. That is the belief system you have to eradicate. You have to cut it off, this belief system. You don't believe that outside having the impact on your stress. You have to believe that my stress triggerer is not outside but inside. Your thoughts are responsible for any kinds of stress you have. That is, you have to believe. That is, you have to believe. The third point is very important. That's why I need time to discuss. I need time to elaborate further, because the belief system is very important when, in terms of managing stress. You have to cut off the belief system that outside having impact on your stress. No, it is you. Your thoughts are responsible for your stress, for the way you think, okay? You have to admit that, you have to acknowledge, you have to understand, you have to believe that I am the only one responsible, accountable for my stress. From that only you can change. From that point only you can understand and how to know to deal with the stress. If you don't change your belief system, if you don't change your perception, if you don't change your conception on stress, you cannot change. So it is clear. First step, you have to admit that you are stressful, and second hand, you have to understand the reason, and the third point, you have to change your belief system on stress. It's clear, yeah. And then we use mostly two key strategies to deal with stress, but there are many techniques, there are many approaches incorporated in Buddha's teaching, but let me elaborate these two key points. One is relaxation technique. One is very important relaxation technique, and there are many techniques in Buddhism. One is a breathing exercise, and you just be mindful and just aware of your breath. Just close your eyes. If you are in office, if you are in a traffic jam, because some people they have traffic jam stress, you can sit down and close your eyes and just focus on your breath. Like when the air goes in, you have to feel that you are breathing in. When the air goes out, you have to feel that you are breathing out. So breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Just do it 10 times. This is the way to do. Breathing in, breathing out 1. Breathing in, breathing out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And later on you have to count backwards. Breathing in, breathing out 10, breathing in, breathing out 9, breathing in, breathing out 8, so until 1. This is the way we call the immediate response to the stress. You have to take the long breath, because from the biological perspective, when we are stressed, our heart keep bouncing and the blood vessel contracts. That's why we are advised by mental health professional to take long breath 10 times. 10 times. Take long breath 10 times. And while you are taking your breath, you have to aware. That is very important in Buddhist perspective. You have to aware. You have to aware and breathing in, breathing out. 1. So it's the relaxation technique, and there are many relaxation technique. I will share it later. So, and the second point is very important, rationalization. And in Buddhism we use yoniso manasikara. Or in another term, realistically positive rationalization. You have to question. You have to question you are stressed, or you can use some rationalization techniques in Buddhism to, we can say, like to subside or to deal with or with the stress. So rationalization in Buddhism very important to deal with stress. That, to be honest, Buddhism is very broad and very wide, philosophy. Anyway, you have to use the rationalization, and there are many kinds of rationalization used to deal with the stress, because stress is considered as one of the unpleasant thoughts, unpleasant emotions in Buddhism, according to the Abhidhamma. Anyway, let me simplify the technique. You have to rationalize, or we can say rationalization. So first thing you can ask yourself, why you are stressed. This is an important question. Why you are stressed? Why you are stressed? And second point, why should I get stressed? This is the question you have to ask yourself. This is the questions to be raised to rationalize your thoughts against the stress. Why I get stressed? Why I get stressed? And the third, you have to ask, what use of getting stressed? What use of getting stressed? This is the key questions you have to ask. Why I get stressed? Why I get stressed? Why should I get stressed? What use of getting stressed? And when you rationalize according to the circumstances you are, you will subside your stress. Let me give you an example. For example, if you are on the way to somewhere and there would be a huge, terrible traffic jam, and you must be there within 1 hour, and now you are in the traffic jam, more than 30 minutes, and that situation, to be honest, it's out of your control. You cannot control it. Yeah? Yes or no? You cannot control it. It is out of your control. So, and in such kinds of situation, you have to convince yourself, and you have to use the rationalization to train your mind to calm down by telling yourself that it is out of my control. I cannot do anything to stop the traffic jam. What I can do is I can stop the way I think towards the traffic jam. This is we have to do, like changing the way you pursue on the stress, or the way you think about the stress, because Buddhism believes that stress or any kinds of unpleasant thoughts are created by your own thoughts on the way you think. So it is very important to change the way you think. When you are in a stress traffic jam, you can be positive. Okay, no need to get stressed. For what? I can enjoy the stop here. I can enjoy the silence here, or I can read the books, or because we have to ask ourselves. No use to get stressed, and because it is out of your control. So hopefully it is clear for you. It is clear. Hope that it is sufficiently clear for you what I have explained. So the way we deal with stress according to the Buddhist point of view, let me remind you One thing is you have to admit that you get stressed and understand the reason. And the third one, change your belief system. Change your belief system on stress, or change your perception about stress. Simply believe that your own thoughts create stress, not outside situation or outside fact or any person. Yeah, thank you, sister. So I hope that you understand. The changing belief system very important. And the second, and I'm sorry, not second, the fourth, rationalization. You have to question your stress. You have to question why I get stressed. Why should I get stressed? And what use of getting stressed? And when you ask these three key questions, you can heal yourself. That, and if you are coming up with the answers, that yeah, it is useless to stress, because stress can't do anything to solve my problem. It just impacts my physical health. This is very important point you have to bear in your mind. You have to understand, you have to remember. And I've told the relaxation technique used by this, we call the immediate reaction, immediate response to the stress. Just take 10 times long breath. Take a long breath 10 times. And very important is rationalization. It's very important. You have to rationalize, question your stress. And there are many technique for rationalization. I will share you tomorrow how to rationalize your stress triggers. And my request, exercise, meditation, yoga work for stress management. Do it every day, any kinds of exercise and meditation or yoga, but meditation is the most effective technique to deal with your stress, and it is easier than other technique. You don't need to go to outside to do exercise. You just sit down and be aware of your thoughts. Just be aware of your thoughts without judgment, without discrimination. Just be aware, just be mindful, just understand, just feel your feelings. That's very important point, is don't judge it. So Mr. Tan, so anyway, let me finish. This is the way to deal with stress according to the Buddhist point of view. And tomorrow I will share more with the technique, and there are many techniques to deal with stress. Let me read what I have explained, what I have elaborated is the steps to be followed on the spot when you get stressed. So this is the strategies, this is the techniques used by mental health professionals, and to be honest, this is from the Buddhist technique. Let me say, getting along with your emotions, make stress your friend, humorization, realistically pessimistic, or let it go, let it flow, like mindfulness, acceptance, rationalization, relaxation techniques like yoga, exercise or meditation, then relaxation music. So this is some of the techniques have been used by mental health promotion to deal with stress. So thank you for today. and hopefully this short time video clip benefit our young generation to deal with their stress. And any kinds of question, if you are in confusion, if you are in doubt, you are free to ask me or to raise the question. Because why? Emotional intelligence, emotional hygiene, emotional mastery, emotional resilience are very important for the success life. If you can manage your emotions, your life will be brilliant, your life will be amazing, your life will be happy always. So life, to be happy, is very simple. You have to know how to manage your emotions. So emotional intelligence, emotional hygiene, emotional mastery, emotional resilience are the key techniques for our life to be successful, to succeed in any kinds of area. Thank you very much. So good night. So Sister Limeta Kuncha, so what Kana understood is why my anger. Calm yourself and try not to focus on the reason while you are angry. Yeah, let me answer you, sister. And I think my phone is my phone battery is flat now. So I think I can answer you maybe day after tomorrow, because tomorrow we are busy. Anyway, so I will share the technique, the Buddha's teaching related to the anger management. We will talk maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow. So thank you very much. Good night, and wish you good health and happiness. I will share more about the technique. Okay, so thank you. Goodbye.